Oh Lord. Now we gonna have to tell
Hey,
on
yo,
these
lesson
people.
here, babe. You come at the king, you best not miss.
Now we gotta tell on people. Yeah, cause people be telling so many lies. We gotta tell on them. All right, watch this.
Yes, there were people in the Americas before Christopher Columbus's arrival in 1492 who had dark skin tones and physical features that, in modern American racial classifications, might lead them to be perceived or categorized as black based on appearance alone. However, these were indigenous Native American populations, not people of recent sub-Saharan African descent. I'll break this down step by step, drawing on historical descriptions, genetic evidence, and addressing common theories about pre-Columbian African contact. Mainstream historical and genetic consensus. The peopling of the Americas began around 15,000 to 20,000 years ago, primarily through migrations from Asia via the Bering Land Bridge, Beringia, during the last ice age. These early inhabitants, known as Paleo-Indians or the First Peoples, diversified into hundreds of indigenous groups across North, Central, and South America. Their skin tones varied widely due to environmental adaptations, genetics, and regional diversity ranging from light to medium brown in northern latitudes to darker shades in tropical regions. Genetic studies confirm that Native American populations share ancestry with ancient East Asian lineages, with no evidence of significant gene flow from sub-Saharan Africa before European contact. However, some indigenous groups in the Amazon and other parts of South America show a small but distinct genetic signal linked to Australo-Melanesian populations, ancestors of modern indigenous Australians, Papuans, and Melanesians. This population-wide ancestry is estimated to be ancient, potentially from a shared migration wave over 15,000 years ago, possibly via the Pacific or Beringia, and appears in tribes like the C.R.U, Caridiana, and Zavant in Brazil. These groups often have very dark skin, curly or wavy hair, and broad facial features, traits that phenotypically resemble those associated with blackness in contemporary U.S. society, where race is often based on visual cues rather than strict genealogy. Early European explorers sometimes described certain indigenous peoples as black or swarthy due to their darker complexions. For example, tribes in tropical South America, the Caribbean, and parts of Central America were noted for darker skin. Quora.com. The Ohlone people of California, pre-contact, were described as dark-skinned by some accounts. RealHistoryWW.com. Some Amazonian and Andean groups fit similar descriptions, aligning with the genetic findings of Australo-Melanesian links. YouTube.com. This doesn't mean these people were black in the modern sense of African diaspora identity, they were indigenous to the Americas. U.S. racial categories are social constructs, so someone with these features today might be misidentified as black, especially without cultural context. Fringe theories about pre-Columbian African contact. There are popular but controversial claims that people of sub-Saharan African descent reached the Americas before 1492, often tied to Afrocentric scholarship. These include Olmec civilization influence. Some argue that the colossal stone heads from the Olmec culture, circa 1200 to 400 BCE in Mesoamerica, depict African features, suggesting ancient Egyptian or Nubian explorers influenced or settled there. RPUBLC.com +2 Ivan van Sertima's 1976 book They Came Before Columbus popularized this, citing linguistic similarities, pyramid building parallels, and African origin plants like cotton. Africanustudies.rutgers.edu +1. Mali Empire Voyages, Stories from West African oral traditions claim that Mali's Emperor F.B.A II sent expeditions across the Atlantic around 1311 CE, potentially reaching Brazil. Medium.com. Columbus's accounts. Columbus himself noted in his journals that indigenous people in Hispaniola described black-skinned people arriving from the southeast in boats, trading gold-tipped spears similar to those from West Africa. C.R.U. Later explorers like Vasco Núñez de Balboa reported encountering dark-skinned warriors in Panama in 1513. Medium.com. These ideas are substantiated by some artifacts, explorer logs, and cultural comparisons but are widely rejected by mainstream archaeologists and geneticists as pseudo-history. Criticisms include: no confirmed African DNA in pre-Columbian remains. YouTube.com. Olmec heads are interpreted as depicting local indigenous features, not Africans. en.wikipedia.org. Plant and cultural similarities can be explained by independent invention or other migrations, not direct African contact. If these theories were true, it would mean people of African descent, who would be considered black today, were present. But without conclusive proof, they remain speculative. Post-Columbian context for comparison. The first documented Africans in the Americas arrived with Europeans shortly after 1492, including as explorers, example Estebanico in the 1520s, or enslaved people, example in Mexico by the mid-1500s. Over time, intermixing created groups like the Black Seminoles, indigenous Seminole people with African ancestry. This blending highlights how racial perceptions evolved, but it occurred after Columbus. In summary, while no firm evidence supports sub-Saharan Africans in the pre-Columbian Americas, indigenous peoples with dark skin and features akin to modern black phenotypes did exist, particularly in South America. This diversity underscores the complexity of human migration and how modern racial labels don't always map neatly onto ancient populations. If you're interested in specific tribes or genetic studies, I can dive deeper.
One second, y'all.
Yeah. They thought we forgot, but we never forget. This one's for the roots. We built this land from dust and tears, 400 years, and we still here. They write new rules, but they don't see. Every freedom they got came off you and me. We planted seeds, they took the bloom. We lit the flame, they left the room. But we back now, no disguise. The spirit's woke, we realize. All we want is what we earn. That sweat and blood, yeah, that table turn. You can't buy culture, can't fake that fight. This is our day, this is our right. We F.B.A. Say it loud, say it strong. We the heartbeat that's been here all along. Foundation of Black Americans, stand tall. We ain't begging for nothing, we built it all. Born from pain and grace, you can see the truth written in our face. We the soul, the sound, the fight, the flame. Foundational Black Americans, say our name. They love our rhythm, but they dodge our blues. Use our voice when it fits their news. They take our sound, but not our scars. We the backbone, we the stars. Now the veil is gone, the mask is clear. We see the game, we know what's here. No more silence, no more lies. We lift that flag and watch it rise. Rise up. We the ones that made this nation breathe. Our veins are power, our roots are trees. We know world is rhythm and grace. And now we're reclaiming our rightful place. Can't copy courage, can't steal pain. You can't inherit soul by changing names. Our story ain't done, it's the revival. We guard the gate, it's about survival. We F.B.A, say it proud, say it loud. The world dances on what we vow. Foundational Black Americans. Still we stand, still we fight, still we demand. Every block, every song, we've been right here all along. The soul of a people strong and free. Foundational Black Americans. We the first, we the rule, we the fire. Still rising, still here. Foundational Black American.
We set the tone and they copy the cadence. Dance to our drums and deny the foundation. Wear the style but don't honor the source. Smile in the crowd and you distance and force. Say you not us but you rap like we breathe. Take the rhythm, then fuse the receipts. I ain't mad, I'm just holding the glass. Showing the mirror, now answer it back. I ain't here to cancel nobody. Just keep it honest, keep it solid. If you eat from the table we build, don't act surprised when we guard it. Do you like that?
One thing God don't do, He don't play about me. When the darkness came for my name, He stepped in instantly. Every demon tried to whisper, but He silenced every lie. They thought they had my spirit broken, but my God stood by my side.